Narcissists are 100% done and suffer forever after you apply these principles. The best phrases and comebacks to disarm the narcissist, a Stoic perspective. Narcissistic manipulation can leave us feeling confused, hurt, and powerless. Yet the ancient wisdom of Stoicism offers timeless principles to regain control over our peace of mind. In this video, we will explore 10 Stoic principles to skillfully handle narcissists without sinking to their level or compromising our values. Far from abstract theory, these pragmatic teachings provide actionable strategies to respond calmly, set boundaries, and rebuild self-worth after narcissistic abuse. I encourage you to watch to the very end. The final principle on transforming perspective may be the most unexpectedly empowering of all. Equipping ourselves with this centuries-old wisdom provides tangible tools to navigate toxic relationships, cultivate emotional resilience, and rewrite limiting narratives. Let's examine how embracing the following 10 Stoic insights can help disarm the narcissist's grip. Principle 1. Retaliation only feeds the narcissist's ego. Narcissists crave drama and attention. They want to provoke an emotional reaction. Responding with retaliation or abuse only provides narcissistic supply, sinking you to their level. The Stoics urge composure instead. Consider a wife whose narcissistic husband cheated on her. She could spew insults in rage, but that would only stroke his ego and allow him to justify his actions. The truly disarming response is calm, direct confrontation, focusing on her feelings rather than attacking. This denies him the satisfaction of getting under her skin. In summary, as satisfying as rage may feel briefly, it often backfires with narcissists. Take the high road. Your peace of mind is the greatest reward. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Marcus Aurelius. Principle 2. Reflect to break destructive patterns. Rather than playing victim, use hindsight to understand why you endured emotional abuse. What personal tendencies or past wounds drew you into the relationship? Where were the early red flags? Consider a woman who consistently dated emotionally unavailable narcissistic men to subconsciously try to win the approval of her detached father. Through counseling, she gained self-awareness, allowing her to seek healthier bonds. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Aristotle. Essentially, courageous self-reflection prevents repeating destructive cycles. Recognizing your blind spots is the first step toward claiming freedom. Principle 3. You endured their abuse. You can survive its effects. Despite the narcissist's efforts to shatter your self-worth, your core value remains intact. You endured their manipulation before. You can survive its aftershocks. Reconnect to your authentic self, recognizing your fundamental human dignity. Consider a woman whose narcissistic boss constantly undermined her work. She began identifying as incompetent. However, by acknowledging this as mere abuse, she started rebuilding her professional confidence through perseverance and creativity. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. Martin Luther King Jr. In essence, the narcissist's narratives aim to twist your identity and worth. But you can reclaim authorship of your story. Your true self endures. Principle 4. Expecting accountability from them is futile. Rather than seeking answers from narcissists, craft an inner dialogue to process the pain and find closure. Their distortions say more about their issues than your worth. Consider a woman who repeatedly confronted her narcissistic ex, hoping for an apology. But his response only included more deception. Through inner work like journaling, she found closure, realizing the futility of accountability. In essence, closure comes from within, not through dialogue with an unchanged narcissist. Focus on navigating your emotions rather than justifying yourself to them. If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, "He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone." Epictetus. Principle 5. Set boundaries for necessary contact. If continued contact is mandatory, strictly limit communication to essential matters. Avoid over-explaining yourself or reactive abuse. Follow the gray rock method. Be polite but unengaging, like a dull gray rock. Consider a woman negotiating custody with her narcissistic ex. She structured contact to crucial texts about pickups, drop-offs only. This minimized his opportunities for manipulation. In summary, structure necessary contact to evade toxicity. Share logistical essentials only. Do not get drawn into crafted drama. Protect your peace. The less a man talks, the more weighty his words will be. Marcus Aurelius. Principle 6. Their rejection reveals their dysfunction, not your worth. Narcissists exploit and discard people without empathy. But this reflects their inability to truly bond, not your value. Respond with compassion for their disorder, not self-blame. Consider a woman suddenly discarded by her narcissistic partner. Though devastated initially, she realized he was unable to sustain authentic intimacy. She deserved reciprocal partnership. In essence, interpret their rejection as proof of their emotional deficiencies, not yours. You deserve real love. Be open to receiving it. If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth by which no one was ever truly harmed. It is the person who continues in his self-deception and ignorance who is harmed. Marcus Aurelius. Principle 7. Conquer lingering trauma bonds. In toxic relationships, trauma bonds amplify feelings of longing and withdrawal, tempting you to return. Combat this through self-care, therapy, and support groups for narcissistic abuse recovery. Consider a woman who constantly returned to her narcissistic husband, unable to break their trauma bond. By reframing the obsessive pull as an addiction, she found the strength to divorce. Essentially, work persistently to conquer trauma bonds. They can be overcome through prioritizing self-love and community support. The price of your peace is worth it. Sometimes even to live is an act of courage. Seneca. Principle 8. Separate their baggage from yours. Avoid projecting their issues like anger, deceit, or paranoia onto yourself. Their actions stem from their own inner demons, not your worth. Consider a woman who blamed herself when her narcissistic boyfriend cheated. She assumed she was now undesirable. Upon realizing his cheating resulted from his own damagedness, she stopped personalizing it. In summary, liberate your mind by distinguishing their baggage from yours. You didn't cause their dysfunction. Free yourself from false narratives. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. Principle 9. Cultivate emotional resilience. View this painful chapter as necessary for your evolution. Focus not on what happened, but on your power to choose how to respond. Determined to emerge wiser and stronger. Consider a woman who embraced radical responsibility for her emotions after narcissistic abuse. Despite triggers, she immersed herself in recovery resources, cultivating resilience. Her sense of personal power flourished. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Marcus Aurelius. Essentially, with intentional self-work, you can develop emotional muscles to thrive despite toxicity. Allow the narcissist's disorder to fuel your growth. Principle 10. Transform perspective. However, the most unexpectedly empowering Stoic approach is to view the narcissist with compassion. Recognize that under their bravado often lies profound self-loathing, insecurity, and fragility. Odd as it may sound, the narcissist should evoke our pity, not just contempt. Consider a woman who was able to eventually feel compassion for her narcissistic ex-husband. She realized that beneath his grandiosity was crippling inner shame that unconsciously drove his manipulation. She saw him as emotionally handicapped. This radical shift freed her from resentment. In essence, toxic behavior stems from inner turmoil. When we understand the narcissist's core wounds, we can separate their disorder from our worth. Our anger dissolves into compassion. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. This completes our 10 Stoic principles on skillfully handling narcissists and protecting your peace of mind. Rather than staying stuck in resentment, these principles offer time-tested wisdom on responding calmly, establishing boundaries, conquering trauma bonds, and even cultivating compassion. I hope these insights provide a framework of practical approaches to minimize a narcissist's capacity to harm you. Please let me know which principles resonated most powerfully for you. Understanding narcissism through the lens of centuries-old Stoic ideas offers tangible ways to regain control over our emotions and narratives. We can emerge wiser and stronger. For more content on using Stoic teachings to navigate life's challenges, please check out my video on The Secret to Enduring Any Crisis. The link is below. As always, thank you for being part of this community. Your engagement provides so much encouragement. Until next time, I wish you self-mastery, wisdom, and peace.